All right, what's going on YouTube? Langdon here with Arch Films. We've got another movie to talk about. This one's Jojo Rabbit, directed by Taika Watiti and starring Roman Griffin Davis as Jojo, Thomasin McKenzie as Elsa, and Scarlett Johansson as Rosie. This one won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay earlier this year and was also nominated for several other awards, including Best Picture. A lot of good things happening in this movie. Taika Watiti has proved himself yet again as a young director to watch. So with that, let's get into it. Alright, so Jojo Rabbit follows a young Johannes Betzler in the last months of World War II. Jojo is a member of the Hitler Youth, and the story begins with his first weekend camp with the organization. Conflict in this movie is kind of introduced when he discovers that his mother, played by Scarlett Johansson, is harboring a young Jewish girl within the walls of their townhome in what I'm guessing is Berlin. Jojo also has this really interesting relationship with this kind of fictional character that lives in his mind that's actually Adolf Hitler. So there's some really standout things in this movie. For one, Taika Watiti again has proven that his comedic timing is impeccable. We got our first taste of this when he did Thor Ragnarok a few years ago. He expertly transitions from lighthearted comedy moments to heavy story moments, and also knows exactly how to use comedy to poke fun at the Nazi beliefs and social practices. So you get this really interesting satirical twist on this moment in history. From what I know about World War II from my high school classes, I know that a lot of the beliefs expressed in this movie are actually historically accurate, with all of these crazy myths that they made up about Jewish people in order to push this kind of narrative. Taika Watiti does a great job being historically accurate with some of these crazy things and poking fun at it, and he twists it from being horrifying it to just funny, and he somehow manages to make you laugh at the ridiculousness of the things that they believed. So Roman Griffin Davis, he's got to be one of the best child actors I have seen in ever, or at a minimum in a very long time. He is gut-wrenchingly authentic in this movie. His performance really enables the audience to think back to their own experience as a 10-year-old, and even though he's in this crazy time in history and being indoctrinated by these crazy people, you can see these moments of innocence all throughout the movie that are super relatable in spite of the context of where his character exists. Another standout has to be Sam Rockwell playing Sergeant K. Sergeant? Is he a sergeant? Yeah, Sam Rockwell's character refers to himself as K because he has a longer, complex German name that begins with a K. In spite of being a Nazi, he's a Nazi soldier, and he's a big part of indoctrinating these Hitler Youth. We do get to see a couple of really amazing moments of humanity from him that kind of help to remind us that there's always two sides to every story. Another thing that stands out to me is the cinematography, which is really spectacular. My mom, after watching it, actually pointed out that it has this kind of painted over quality. There's all these really stunning colors, makes the things like the Nazi flag really pop on screen whenever you see it. When I say painted over, it feels as if the movie was shot in black and white, and then, like they used to do way back in the day, they would take film and then paint over the film the colors that they wanted. Kind of helps contribute to this satirical look. It's as if you're taking what is known about history and you're given this new lens by this kind of like painted over quality that Taika Watiti is giving us with these super lovable characters. And I think that's really interesting how the cinematography actually contributes to that theme. Another thing that stuck out to me with the cinematography is that most of the movie felt like it was shot from Jojo's low eye level. So all of these adult characters, you're always kind of like looking up at them. And I think that was really interesting because it really does a lot to help put you in Jojo's shoes. Even though he's this Nazi Hitler Youth fanatic, you find yourself really relating to him. But it's really interesting to just kind of perceive Nazi Germany through this child's eyes. In my lifetime, I can think of a handful of breathtaking cinematic moments. And even amongst the masterpieces out there, these moments tend to be really few and far between, where it's just 30 seconds of the most spectacular filmmaking. And this movie has one of those moments. I can't talk about it too much because it is a huge spoiler, and I'd like to keep my reviews spoiler free. So I will say that my favorite thing about this moment is that there is this really intense juxtaposition from the most pure, innocent thing that you can possibly think of to this horrible, horrible tragedy. And that switch happens in an instant, and it is so impactful. One of those spectacular filmmaking moments that are just so few and far between. Only issue with this movie is I found there to be some slight pacing issues. I did find myself becoming slightly disinterested in some of the middle chunks of this movie. It gets a little bit montagey with to try and show time passing. I felt it took a little while for things to pick back up, but otherwise this one is really exceptional. So on to my rating. This is a great example of a movie that uses all of the tools available to tell a great narrative. Cinematography, as I was talking about, does a lot for pushing the theme and this kind of satirical tone in the movie. The music is really great because it kind of gives it this youthful feel, experiencing Nazi Germany from the eyes of a kid. Great acting, of course. And then, yeah, obviously the screenplay won the Oscar, and that's for very good reason. The writing here is really excellent. For these reasons, I'm going to call Jojo Rabbit a masterpiece. This is a really exceptional movie that I highly recommend. Again, Taika Watiti is proving himself to be a rare, multifaceted talent. So that's going to be it for this one. Please comment and let me know what you think of Jojo Rabbit. Let me know what movie you want me to review next. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And please subscribe. There's more content coming soon. I have a couple more reviews planned already, and I'm starting to plan out my first video essay on a film that I really love, so I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, stay tuned for more content coming soon. Peace.